So I am going to interview. I need a respite. So I'm going to interview Steph, but also we're going to talk about, we're going to throw our hats in the ring of the Swift Kelsey thing, because I think it's fucking like so interesting in terms of the collective.
I love that. But it brings me a lot of like joy.
It's actually like a part of me that's so, I don't play around in a lot, but like the pop culture piece, but I'm not a traditionalist for me. I've had to work through that, but I love traditional things. Like, show me a wedding dress with bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Just don't put me in one. Like, I want to see all the babies. I want like the Christmas tree up. I want the Easter spread. I'm just an a-traditional Jew from New York.
I love it, but I will eat it.
Okay, so first I want to hear like when you were a little kid. Okay. So what was your favorite toy?
Oh my God. That is such a funny question. My favorite toy when I was a little kid? Like, what a question. I don't even know. I want to say, I don't even know. I know I had my favorite stuffed animal, which was my Care Bear with the heart on the belly.
So the classic Care Bear. I feel like there were different Care Bears.
It was weren't there? One with the heart, and it was the Love-A-Lot bear.
Stop it. Okay.
I loved my
cancer moon,
and I loved my purple elephant. And those were
so like stuffies, not like Rainbow Bright or like.
I wasn't really into dolls. Like, I had two American Girl dolls.
Okay.
Which me and my friends were talking about the other day because we were in an antique shop and we saw American Girl dolls and we were all like, we were such cunts that we had American Girl dolls. Like,
which ones did you have?
I had Captain, and I had a make your own doll where like
you went to the store. You went to the thing and did it
for her because I like when I was young I was like desperate to have like red hair, which I've now dyed 15 different times. But I thought like copper hair was like the coolest. Yeah. I mean, when we were in 7th grade, we had to make a people person doll, which was like home and careers, which I don't even know if they have home and careers anymore. Or has that been cut from the education?
Home ec.
Remember we learned to like cook and sew, and now it's like
I went to private school. Although when I went to public school for 2 years in 7th and 8th grade, I was like, what is this home ec? Like I came from like, we were we're looking at stocks in 2nd grade. And then all of a sudden, literally, that was the 2nd grade. We started like following stocks, but we had to choose one.
That is so useful.
Well, Horace Mann.
Well,
what?
Isn't it to balance a checkbook as well?
No, because I went to Horace Mann. It was like, no, you're running Wall Street. You're not balancing a checkbook.
Somebody else does stuff. Right. You're not a poor accountant. You're a wealthy broker.
Useful for someone like me. No, I just had to choose stocks and follow them. Okay, wait, but
well, so I raised you one. I learned how to make quesadillas.
Again, more useful. Okay. I mean, nothing. Okay, so where'd the red hair obsession come from?
I don't know. But when I made my people person, I made her hair out of like orange felt. Like I was.
Why was she a people person and not a doll? What's that mean?
They called the dolls because they were life size.
Oh,
the doll was as big as me. I dressed it in my own clothes. I had like
person life size doll
that said hopeless, and I put it on her like it's hostess. It said hopeless.
Okay.
I was OG in the graphic tee game. And I put my GX jeans on her and I gave her orange hair, and my parents I used to want to have an undershave because that was like the cool style in the 90s. And my dad would not let me have an undershave, which like now would probably be considered like homophobic or something, even though it had nothing to do with that. I just was like, I wanted to be radical. But I wasn't.
Okay, but that's later. That's 7th grade. So when you're little, it's Care Bears and this purple elephant.
Yeah, that was my thing. I think I'm trying to remember like what other things I would like play with. Like I have a distinct memory of like loving playing cash register with my grandma, where she like teach me to count coins and count stuff.
Yeah.
Like she really wanted to give me practical skills. Like, she was Like, be a secretary. Like, you'll be successful. Uh,
Okay, but were you selling anything at the cash register?
no, it's just all about counting, cash register counting. I mean,
Okay.
I can't really remember. My memory of my childhood is here's what I think. I think that I broke my brain when I was addicted to Adderall and can't remember a lot of things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious, genuinely, that's why I'm asking. Okay, so this is like, and we're saying with these two toys or dolls, or not dolls, but how old? 7, 6, 8,
Yeah, yum.
9.
Yum.
But
Definitely.
not like, this is not like 3, 4.
I can't remember that part of my life. The only thing I remember in that part of my life is my brother being born.
Okay.
'Cause he was born when I was 4 years old.
You remember like your parents being like, you have a baby brother? Like, what do you actually remember?
I remember my dad being like, "You have a baby brother," and we went to the toy store, and he got me something, and then he asked me to get something for my brother, and then we went to the hospital to see my mom and
Mhm.
meet my brother.
Do you remember any emotional response to that?
I was obsessed with him
Ah, okay. So maternal, like from the start.
from the beginning, and
Yeah.
every photo of me with my brother when he's young is literally me like this. Like, I'm, like, choking him out in every picture in, like, a loving way, but it's clearly, like, okay, me thinking this is
Okay.
my
Okay. So he comes along at 4. Did you go to the same elementary school?
well, I was 4 years older than him because he was born in January and I was born in November, but I was 5 grades older than him because for whatever reason, I was put in the grade where I was the youngest child in the grade.
That's an age thing. Well, like meaning I was born in September and they put me like there was a cutoff
Yeah,
at Horseman where I couldn't go.
first.
Right.
So,
But I'm saying, did you go to the same? Did
we
you?
weren't in school together is why I'm
No,
saying.
but you did. You didn't switch schools in elementary school.
No, we went K through 5.
5. And middle school was 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting. Did you have a best friend?
in middle
K
school.
through 5.
Yeah. Oh, I was so cool in elementary school, I thought.
Okay.
I used to think I was the coolest fucking person, and I don't know what happened. I wish I was still that girl. I have such a memory of being in 5th grade. I had another graphic tee that said, "Don't give me attitude, I've got my own." Okay. Me and my friends created like a mantra, "Don't give me attitude, I got my own." And we used to fucking walk around the halls of the elementary school singing this song like we ruled the school. We were like the pink ladies in our head. We were like so fucking cool.
But was it like the group? You had a group, or did you have a bestie?
I had Jessica and I had Jackie, but then I also had Rachel, but Rachel was kind of mean. There was more of like
Mhm.
a group.
Okay. Are you in touch with anybody from this group?
No.
Okay. And then did you go to a different?
We all went to the same middle school.
Okay.
And then 2 other elementary schools from the district joined the middle school.
So it got bigger.
But I also already knew a lot of those people because I played recreational sports.
Oh, okay. So did the besties continue through middle school?
No.
Oh, because the new people came in and you're like, you Scorpio amputated them. They were no longer cool enough for you.
Yeah, it was really like a war like the social war of middle school in my grade was so fucking savage that we had to have a meeting. Like 20 girls in my school got called with their parents to the principal's office, and the principal was basically like, "We've never seen a group of girls more vicious in the entire history of this school. So we need to figure something out because you guys are so bad." Like, we were so but here's what I feel. I feel like I was actually a really sweet person who was just, like, had to survive because
Hmm.
I had a boyfriend in 5th grade, a very serious boyfriend, Daniel DeLello. We were fully in love.
Where is he now?
He has a family, I don't know.
Okay.
He we, like kind of stayed friends in high school, but then he got addicted to heroin, but like was still fine. But then remember when
That's
we were drunk at a bar and we were like in the in like the alleyway of the bar, like talking so drunk, but being like, we were really in love. And like having this like download moment of like our 10-year-old selves.
it's amazing.
Confirmation that like, but we would like hold hands behind the computers and like kiss. And I remember we went to the Natural History Museum and he bought me a little blue dinosaur. Like we were like, it was like a real relationship.
This is the cutest thing ever.
I did Scorpio amputate him though. I remember.
Huh.
I remember breaking his heart and it being like so fucking brutal. Because I was like, I don't want to date Dan anymore, but he wouldn't leave me alone. So I kept moving my desk all around the classroom and he kept following me. I know. I know. That was fucking brutal.
Well, because I was talking to a friend last night. Well, I had a lot of wants to interview, but I was speaking to a friend last night and she was talking about her 4-year-old. We were at dinner and she was talking about her 4-year-old who is like having romantic antics in the playground. And
Yeah.
like,
No,
so it kind of made me think, okay, so
I mean, I saw Asher go up to a 7-year-old girl on the playground a few weeks ago and grab her hand and start dragging her around the playground and like made her his like girlfriend for 3 hours. And I was like, whoa, this kid's 18 months old. Like, what is about to happen here? I was so scared.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that transit, was that like one of the biggest shifts in your life up until that point? Were your parents still married at that point?
My parents were still married. I would say that I always felt very torn socially because I was like kind of nerdy as well. Like
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was in advanced classes and I was did like all the plays. Like in 8th grade, I was like a popular girl, but I played Oliver in the school play. Like,
So like you weren't a theater, like I feel like the trope is that the theater kids are nerdy, but I feel like that changed, or did it not change
I
in your
mean,
school?
they were in my school. And I think I was kind of one of the weird people who was just both. Like very athletic, but I also like loved theater. And so
So you were good at everything.
I kind of was. I kind of was just like
Uh-huh.
so talented. I'm kidding.
I
But like,
think it's really interesting though, like how our earlier years shape our perception of everything now. I mean, yes, obviously that's like what therapy is about, but I think even from these other things that are more fun, not just
no, it's
like
funny.
witch dolls.
I've been thinking about this recently because I've been, I think I'm evolving just as a person in the world of like, what's my priority? Like, it was
Mhm.
comedy and acting. And
Mhm.
now I'm much more clear on like, it's health and maybe more politics. Like, and I'm getting more educated on politics in this way, like I haven't ever been before. Not
Mhm.
because that health is political, but because it's become that. So I feel like I have to
Mhm.
arm myself with information in order to kind of walk the walk of health. The point being that I've been questioning, why am I so able to see multiple sides of things, and
Mhm.
and how deeply the call for harmony between sides like lives in my body.
Mhm.
It's because of both what you're asking me. So it's funny because I
Yeah.
hadn't thought, is that I've always been a jock and a dork. And
Mhm.
at the time, my mom was Jewish and my dad was Catholic. So I also grew up, oh, and my
Yeah.
dad was Republican and my mom was a Democrat.
Yeah.
And always grew up kind of in between two worlds of many different varieties. And I remember being young and I've journaled. This is something about my young self that's kind of odd. I have been keeping a journal since I was 8 years old. Like straight up, I found journals
Mhm.
that I was keeping at 8 where I couldn't even write my letters straight. Like I was like,
That's
and
amazing.
a lot of the things I was writing about, especially in middle school, was feeling kind of at odds with the world. Like I felt like I didn't fit anywhere, even though I fit
Mhm.
there.
Yep.
And so I think that's
Well,
a
if you
big
fit
part.
everywhere, then then it can feel like you fit nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no like particular niche,
Yeah.
right?
That's why today it's almost coming into clearer focus where I'm like, yeah, I'm not on a side. I'm on the truth side and I'm on the side of well-being and I'm on the side of the planet, land and the animals and like overall health and well-being. But the way that this world tries to make us pick sides of all things, whether it's left or right or Jew or Catholic or
Mm.
sports or drama or like whatever, there's a million different things that we can say their sides are. I kind of am like, now that I'm an adult, I realize I don't have to do that. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to do that. It doesn't feel organic to me and it never has. And so you kind of like pulling that out reminds me of it. It's been multiple aspects of my life that I felt like that.
Where you're drawing different things together. But this is why I think the individual human experience is so much more interesting to me than any, box checking of what we say our identity is, because
Totally.
we all have story, right? So would you say that it was the loss of your mom and then becoming a mother that started to really transition you into health?
No, I mean, I think it was the pandemic.
Specifically, like that was the catalyst.
Well, I mean, doing so retrograde was about that for me because I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was 19. And
Oh, okay.
so I had been on that journey of realizing my health was in my own hands and having to change things and eat differently and see a different type of doctor and all the different things that eventually led me to doing that show was because I got suddenly sick. And also I got an autoimmune disease at the same time that I was in the throes of an Adderall addiction. So it was just like this
And that
is
was 19?
at 19, yeah, in
That's
2005.
interesting in terms of first North Node return.
Yes, I know. I know because I feel like that time and what happened in that time took me a long time to recover
Mhm.
from, like a
Yeah.
decade. If
Yeah, I
not
mean, it does. But I think things take longer to navigate than we think. And I think we get to deeper cuts of the same thing. I think there's this idea that or this false notion that it's linear. And if I just fix this at this fixed point in this linear path, then I move forward and that falls off.
yeah.
And I just don't think yeah,
Well,
sure. There's
life is
always
a
a
spiral,
that's
not a line.
what I mean. That's what I mean. So it's like, are you seeing things in Asher that you were told about yourself as a child?
I mean, other than he's just like exceptionally beautiful. um the thing with him and the thing with becoming I mean, I do think that autoimmune disease, doing so retrograde, pandemic, mom death, becoming a mother. Yes, there is a build of the thing with
Yeah.
health. And when it comes to becoming a mom and mothering him and mothering what it will be my next child, the thing that I always think about and feel, and Tyler and I talk about too, because we both kind of have the same experience, is like we're not here to tell them who they're supposed to be
Mhm.
or impart project our world view or ways of operating onto them. It's like I really observe him and let him kind of tell me what type of person that he is. And I think that I wish that my parents had had that consciousness. And so as a parent, that's something that I really focus on is like, yes, I have to create boundaries and I have to make sure that he, you know, isn't just a wild child, like being a monster. But at the same time, it's like, the letting him fully express himself and exploring his expression is something I'm really focused on because I feel like for me growing up, my parents parented with a very punishment led style.
Punitive.
Yeah, punitive, and I don't really believe that that was very effective at all.
Right. But okay, so this is a question. Do you believe in both nurture and nature? Like, do you think there's something essential, like
Totally.
biologically, biochemically, that like he looks like you,
Totally.
right?
Here's the thing,
So,
my dad is a sneaky person by nature.
Mhm.
Love him, but he is like a male Scorpio. So he would always doing some shit. And so he just assumed that I was like that. So he would always parent me like I was
Like
being
accuse you of that.
when I wasn't being like that.
Interesting.
So
Yep.
that's kind of the example of like, that's your shit,
That's a
bro.
great example. Yeah.
And I'm very focused on not doing that to my children. Um, but yes, of course, there's nature and nurture are equal parts, I think, when it comes to somebody growing up. And somebody can, I think, uh, what's the word? Kind of transcend their nurture, I think.
Mhm.
You can still be successful or happy or anything if your nurture was not, the best.
Well, we
And
see examples of that.
you can also be shitty if you had the best nurture. Like one of my friends growing up, one of the ones in 5th grade who ended up dying of a drug overdose, when we were 20 something, she her parents were so sweet and loved her so much. And she still was a fucking asshole. And then she ended up just like doing a million drugs and just was, like it was just like,
I think we want as human beings to pin the tail on the donkey and then to say,
yeah,
oh, if I do this, this won't happen. And I think part of real maturation and aging is realizing it doesn't work like that.
mhm,
Like it's just there's so many layers and so many contributing factors, and the desire to find the one thing is what gets in the way
yeah.
of, you know, navigating life in a way that is holistic. And I don't even mean that in terms of health, but really just saying like there's there's not always an answer that is applicable. There's never an answer that's applicable to every other situation.
Of course, and that's why I have such an allergy to like prescriptive parenting or prescriptive, like really anything. Like I think more and more, even with like social media and content and the way that branding and selling an idea has become like ubiquitous, is that it's almost like everyone needs to be so sure that this will be the thing that results in like a positive outcome. And
This is what I'm
or a
saying.
negative outcome. And I fully believe that our certainty as a species is our undoing. Like if we remain so certain, that's where we are so blind and so fucked.
It's so short-sighted, right? It's like it's just and anytime we try and control something by enacting a certain behavior, eh, there's a reaction to it that's unintended, and inconsequential. I think where I have a hard time when there is like when it's the same hammer, when it's always a hammer, so you're only ever seeing a nail. Is that the right thing? Like, meaning when people will say, oh, that's the same exact thing that happened over there and over there and over there. And I do think there's nuance and I do think context matters. And I think that not everything can be pinned on one person or two people or an identity of people. I think this is where we get into, we're getting off topic. But
And
I think that
great ideas inside of all these things, right? Like there could be great ideas, there could be things
are
that
kernels of truth.
affect people and exactly truth that can be applied here. But I think it's like what going back to the nature versus nurture question. It's like if you have 5 children and you do the exact same thing for every child, I guarantee you that half of them will not respond well to the thing that the other half responded well to. Like it's just
Right. Like I really thrived in the structure that I was raised. I went to the same school, then I went to tennis 3 days a week. I went to Hebrew school. I went like it was very it was very structured. I went to this like sleepaway camp. Like my life was very structured and I really thrived in that. And I know that because as an adult, I have to create structure for myself where I feel the most productive, right?
right.
But I think another kid, not the case, right? It's like, it's just so, one of the things that is interesting is to think about if we remember something, if we have a memory of something. This is in Inside Out, that movie. It's like, well, there's emotional juice in that thing for us that may not be like, for example, if I have a memory of like, which I don't have, but my mom being like, you cannot have this cookie. And that's a memory I have at 45, right? There's a reason I have that memory. If
Right.
the same thing happens to twins and one remember, well, twins are maybe because they like kind of share a thing, but siblings, and one remembers that and the other one does. Why you talk to siblings and they're like, one will say, remember when mom did this? And the other one's like, that's not mom.
Oh, my brother and I do this all the time. We're like, we have a complete, like, we have some shared memories, but we
Yeah.
almost piece our childhood back together through each other because we just remember such different things.
Right. So like you're not like Asher and the baby, right? That's in the belly. It's like they may have different interpretations of the same exact thing that you do.
Totally.
Again, like we can't control for outcome. But I think that and then there's all the X factor of like who shows up at your school and what, you could be influenced by your friend's parents. I know I was. And that shapes part of your like there's all these factors, right? And then it's how we interpret them
I got my best friend in 7th grade's mom.
affected you.
Yeah, because when we were in 7th grade, her brother died of cancer.
Oh,
He was in 6th grade. And then her mom was like this healer and she would like do Reiki on him. And like, she was just so resilient and so amazing to me. And like, literally, I wrote my college essay about her. I know.
I mean, right? So I think that that's the other piece. Instead of like, we have this idea of like it takes a village and then it's like forcing the village. It's like you also don't know, you know, who a child is going to resonate with and why. I just think there's so many factors, but I was I was thinking about you and I was like, I wonder what she was like as a kid. Like,
You know, it's funny. Sorry, not to cut you off. But I was also having this memory the other day where like, I used to have this sunflower notebook and I would like write like poetry and songs like in the notebook. And then
mhm.
so embarrassed that like my parents would find it. So I would like it. Like I very much like, and that's a big hurdle for me as a writer now is to like share things has been like a very deep process for me because I felt very much like they didn't get it growing up.
But are they supposed to? Is a
Well,
parent really
I
supposed to get?
do like when I moved to LA and became friends with like artists and
Mhm.
other artists,
Yeah.
they had experiences where it was very much nurtured by their parents. And like my parents were not parented like that.
Right. And also, again, it's not like Westchester is filled with creatives. It's
I
not
mean,
like,
it,
I don't know.
like the
I
town
feel like
was like a total artist hamlet.
your town was?
The town next to me.
Oh, the town next to you.
Yeah,
But I think all that kind of environment plays a part.
definitely. Yeah. And they didn't move there because they were artists. They moved there because my mom was from Westchester and my dad was a city commuter and it just fucking made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why most people move to Westchester,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So then high school.
Yeah.
And then I know you have to go, right? Because I'll give a little thing on the Taylor Swift
No,
thing.
it's okay. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. We can go longer.
Okay. So,
Whatever.
okay. You're like, I'm talking about myself. We can
No, no, I'm just saying, like, start. So like we can go into like 3:15. It'll be okay.
Okay. So,
Or
okay.
what?
So,
We can end it right now, Danny.
no, I'm loving this. Okay. So, from middle school to high school, more of a feeder, even more kids, or no?
No. So it was 3 elementary schools went to the same middle school. One middle school went to one high school, and so it was just all the same people went from middle school to high school, which was
Did you go to another culling?
so
Right.
toxic. My parents really wanted me to go to private school, and I should have gone.
Where, like Hackley? Where would you have gone?
Yeah, they wanted me to go to Hackley.
We would have played if you played field. Oh no, you're much younger than me. We wouldn't have played field hockey. Never mind.
No, wait. What year did you graduate high school?
I graduated in '99.
I would have been a freshman when you were a senior.
Oh, that's cute.
So cute.
I taught a class in high school. How was it? I taught a class called Life Skills to freshmen as a
I
senior.
class.
I mean, does not fit.
It fits so well. Oh
Yeah.
my, so cute. I bet I would have been like, I want to be her friend. She's so together. She really gets it. She's gonna be so successful. I want to be her.
Detour after detour after detour.
But that's life. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot. I mean, I don't think it's just where you are in your life. You know, I think it's like something that's happening with all of us in a way. Is just like we're hitting this new kind of crest of returning to things we were once doing that then maybe didn't fully get fulfilled.
100%.
We're having to interface with, you know, the grief of it not having been fulfilled, but also
Mhm.
the fact that that doesn't really matter or count because it's like it's not really a detour because you're gathering wisdom and life experience to like then show back up for the calling in your soul. If it's still there, it's still a calling. If it wasn't there, then you would have gone away. But if it comes back,
100%.
then
Yeah,
it's
I think that's true.
it's a dream and it's a promise of your soul that's like meant to continue to be fulfilled. And so I feel like I've also been in the place where I'm like, well, there's like these little things that I kind of like left behind as kernels along my path that I'm like, I had that moment too that we're
Mhm.
talking before we came on, which was just like, but why didn't it happen then? Or why didn't I do it
Mm.
then? Or why did I drop that on the floor? But it's like, it's just because it wasn't the time for it to be realized.
Yeah, yeah. So, like 13 to 18, we really develop our social identity.
Yeah. I mean, dude, my school was a sink or swim situation. I'll never forget. High school, I shared a locker with this guy, Mike Cratter. And he was,
Mhm.
but
Wait,
I knew
wait, that's interesting that boys and girls shared lockers. I find that interesting.
we all just had mixed lockers. They were
Okay,
all
that's
in the hallway.
okay.
I mean, this is public school. They're not like organizing things.
No, but you shared a single locker
No,
with a
like
dude?
the locker on top,
Ah,
locker on bottom,
okay. Okay, that makes sense.
and it
That
was
makes
just
sense.
like the whatever. And I knew this kid like since elementary school, and we were in Hebrew school together, but we'd never like, I mean, sharing a locker
Mm.
space, closest interaction. You see that person
Yeah.
every day, multiple
Oh,
times. And this really stuck with me because I felt like it really showed me that it matters who you associate with and it matters what you project when it
mhm.
comes to who you associate with.
Yeah.
And it matters who you are when you're quiet and nobody's looking. And that's more important than probably anything. So, anyways, we were like last day of school, senior year.
Mm.
And he like turns to me, close our lockers, and he turns to me, he's like, you know, Steph, I always really thought you were a bitch. But now that we've shared a locker for a whole year, I realized that you're a really nice person.
Oh,
I was like, that defined high school for me. I was like, everyone thinks I'm a bitch because my friends are bitches and because I just have to like act like that to like survive this fucking
yeah.
toxic social environment. But when I'm just quietly sharing a locker with someone, I'm like really nice to them because that's who I really am in quiet.
Yeah.
Because I'm that way in quiet, being friends with people that are not like that is so painful. I don't know why no, a few of my friends were really sweet, but it was very much like hierarchical, you know? Hierarchical. Hierarch What's the word?
What hierarchical?
Yeah.
It was a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Were they were they bitchy to you? Did you feel like you had to dodge their bitchiness or navigate their bitchiness?
In middle school, definitely there was a Stephanie Simbari Sucks Club in middle school.
Are you serious?
Mm.
How did you find out about Stephanie's Morse?
Oh, I intercepted a note where they were writing about it. Yeah.
Did you go home crying?
No, I think I just like confronted them and I
Oh,
used to
wait, this is you. How you like went up to a guy and was like, will you date me?
yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
You were badass.
I was pretty confrontational as a kid, which is funny because as an adult, I'm like so codependent and passive.
I'm in awe that you confronted that situation.
Yeah, I found the note and I was like, what the fuck? You guys have a club against me? And like, it was so brutal. But I think what it was is that I was always different. Like, I have another memory of in seventh grade, I wore a shirt for my school picture that was a little bee and it was a bee and it had like a little buzz, 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 buzz
Like a
around
bumblebee.
bumblebee and there was like buzzes around it and then it said
Mm.
and the shirt was like be yourself and I like was so proud the way this whole episode is about me and my graphic tees is really funny. Let's just let it be known that I'm a trendsetter, okay?
Amazing.
But like I was ruthlessly teased by the group of friends because they were like, buzz yourself, like let's buzz yourself. And I was like, it's be yourself. Like, be yourself. Like I was very like everyone should be themselves, like dorky,
Uh-huh.
wanting to celebrate their weirdness type vibe. But I think just very quickly, like, and it's been my adult process to be like, even, letting go of that, like, completely, that, like, you know,
Mhm.
there's a difference between being naturally cool and feeling like you need to be cool to have friends. And
I
I,
think they're radically different.
yeah,
Well, also, what is, it's interesting, like, what do we define as cool? Because I think it does change from generation or micro generation to micro generation.
what I define as cool is someone who's super authentic and does their own thing and just is on their path. Like, I think that's the coolest thing.
Yes, you are also a woman in her mid-30s. Like, what do kids think of as cool? Like, what defines cool? I
Oh,
think what defined cool, you know, in the 90s was different than in the 2000s,
totally.
right? In the aughts.
Like a high school girl the other day at Erewhon, and she was dressed as though it was 1999.
It's back. It's
Like,
totally back. Yeah.
and I'm like, what?
But the thing is,
Wear his jeans again?
but I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we were genuinely grungy. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't a put on. It was like, it genuinely just was the way it, like,
You can't
the
be
cool
grungy.
kids were grungy. No, you can't. You say you can't be grungy. What?
You can't be grunge and have an iPhone.
No, no, that's it. Like, the whole thing about the 90s, Chuck Klosterman's book is so good, the 90s, where it's like the whole thing was don't sell out and like reality bites and rent.
Have
And
you
this,
seen that Kurt Cobain algorithm meme that's going around?
no,
Like, imagine it's like a picture of Kurt Cobain. It's like, imagine telling this guy he needs to like get this many streams to win the algorithm or whatever. It's like that.
exactly. But I think that different, right? So that necessitates a different kind of cool. I don't know what's happening in high schools, but is it, I mean, I should ask my niece. She's starting college this weekend, but like the question is it cool, like those who have Instagram followings? Like, is that, I know there's a lot of things of like kids being, saying, oh, this person doesn't follow me back or they don't like me. I mean, I can't even imagine that. That's given what high school or middle school was like for us. And then you
Ugh,
put it on blast.
in high school. Ugh.
But it's interesting. All right, I'm just gonna like hop over to the Taylor Swift thing because I think this is all related. Then we can come back to you.
No, it's okay. I don't care.
No, we're not done with you. We're not
I'm
done with you.
doing a bit where I like really care, but I don't.
But okay, so this is what I find super interesting. I'm not a Swiftie, right? Like, I really think it's interesting to when pop culture things really hit,
Yeah.
right? So here is from what I understand, and people in the comments can be, if they're Swifties, can be like, no, I have it all wrong. What I understand is that she perceived herself as the not cool girl in high school and kind of like the English lit girl,
Yeah.
right? And her persona, as I see it, is like very sparkly. Like, I wouldn't consider her aesthetic cool the way,
No.
right? It's not cool. It's not cool. It's not edgy, right? I feel like she's not trying to do the European natural thing. She always has a face full of makeup. She's got the look. And she's unapologetically girly,
And she's had this
right?
since she came out 20 years ago.
Same bangs.
Yeah, like her haircut is the exact same haircut it was when she was like very little girl.
But I feel like Dakota like, I feel like that bangs work for certain people. That's not a problem. Is
Yeah.
that not good?
It's like she's not following a trend. She's just her
Right.
own little thing.
Right. And so I think I'm right in saying like that the people who are, girls who are huge fans of her, they feel like that girl. They feel like the girl that's not chosen, right? And then
Yeah, and she gives them like their redemption in their home.
right, and her lyrics are like peppered with literary references and um movie references, like old school movie references, and like so there's a kind of yeah, we're not the cool girl.
Yeah.
Even though she's the biggest pop star in the world. So I think that's interesting.
But
But
she's also
what's
created cool girl groups like in her personal life.
right. So that's really interesting. But
Yeah.
then, okay, this is what I find super interesting. So she has Venus at 1 degree Aquarius, right? And Pluto over the past year or so has been moving into Aquarius, then dipping back out. So during her Eris tour, so she breaks up with this guy, which I didn't even know. She'd been with him 6-something years. Seems like a very like emo British
Oh,
dude, actor, right? Never wants to be seen with her in public.
but they did do that documentary where he was in it.
Okay, but like, you don't really hear about like he was in
Yeah. What was
the
his name?
Sally Rooney,
Aldwin or
Joe Alwyn, right?
Aldwin? Yeah.
And then, you know, famously she was very young, but she was very kind of into Jake Gyllenhaal. So she was really kind of going for these emo guys because that was her world.
Mm.
Again, Swifties, tell me if I'm wrong. But then, like, Pluto hits her Venus, and I think Uranus, which takes 84 years to run the zodiac and rules Aquarius, goes over her descendant, which is relationship. And she experiences first of all, she absolutely catapults herself to the biggest pop star in the world. So that's like Pluto and money, and she's a billionaire, right? Venus. But she experiences a total pattern breaker back to who she said she wanted to be with in high school, the star football guy, right?
Totally.
Right. And he's the blue collar version. She's the white collar version, right? Her dad worked at Merrill Lynch. Her mom was, in finance. His dad worked for a steel company. I did a deep dive on that, right? So blue collar, white collar,
You're
right?
ready to
But very similar. Both two children born to parents. His parents divorced, but are still close friends. Her parents are married. All American, raised in Pennsylvania, Nashville, and Cleveland. You don't get any more American than
totally.
this, right? He proposes to her in his backyard in Missouri, right? Like he didn't fly her to like, I don't know, the Amman in Venice, Italy. And there's something interesting in that because it's very uncool.
Right.
And I think that is fast.
It's
I
so
think
true
it's
for
fucking awesome.
multi-millionaire billionaires. It's very non-glam.
That's what I'm saying. And I
Yeah.
think there's something like incredible, like in this era that we're in, where everybody's like, fuck America, moving to Europe. And like, they come out literally as like American football and pop star. You cannot have those careers at the level that they have. Well, you can have the football career. The other one in any other country. I mean, you can have a soccer star, and they're the same age.
Yeah. I
Like,
love it.
there's something very interesting about how it mirrors the collective of like, are we moving out of like the emo male, the like adoration of the like Timothy Chalamet, like emo male into this more like dude. And like, here's a guy who like, because I watched the interview, he is huge personality, meets her in the person and like out there and like wants to shout it from the rooftops, literally, that he's in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Lannon, her man too, which I was thinking about, right? It's a little bit different because he's blue collar and hasn't like amassed wealth the way that Kelsey has. But both of them are super family oriented
Yeah.
and have actually more like middle American values. And
Mm-hmm.
remember how I keep saying on the show, like middle America is like
Happening.
poised to make some kind of comeback. Yeah, there's something interesting where the cool thing is so unattainable that it's unrelatable, and so it actually loses its cachet.
Yeah, there's no aspirational power to something that you can never have.
Right.
Where
Whereas like she's a billionaire, he's worth like $100 million or something, but somehow their life and them sitting on that pot, you're like, oh, I totally relate to this.
yeah.
And you relate to their, like they're in Cleveland or whatever, or Kansas City. I just think there's something that is so amazing about that.
I also
Because
the whole thing with the masculine that you're talking about is like so the way that we transition from like toxic masculinity to like celebrating this
yeah,
positive man, I think we're now like there's a weird hybridization happening where like when I watch their interview and I even feel like this with Tyler and with Daniel, it's like
yes.
they are also both really tender, sensitive men, but also are super strong and capable and like
But
warrior.
that's the sensitive jock. I think that
Yeah,
was always the sense. So, like
yeah,
the whole revenge of the nerds thing, like a friend said to me, she's like, she said this to me a couple of years ago. She's like, basically, our entire culture has been revenge of the nerds. Like, actually, if you look at movies from the 80s or 90s, the sensitive jock was the thing.
yeah, totally.
And they were like philosophical and like heartfelt, right? And then we did this. Then there was like literally the revenge of the nerds. And I don't know, is this signaling something in the collective? Because it is a bellwether. Like whether you like pop culture or not, it's a bellwether,
Yeah.
right? And that is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so because I think that there's also this like really dark corner of feminism that has this idea that we like don't need men.
Right. And like, I remember Daniel we were talking about it for, a brief second because he is a dude, but he's like, what's also great about it? He's like, I think she's like 5'11" and he's 6'5". That must be great for her to have like
Yeah,
a guy that like, feels that like, imagine that much paparazzi coming at you all the time and your husband is a 6'5" football player. Like how
totally,
safe that must feel.
totally.
Like, and so, okay, going back to this, like, she seems super feminine to me. Sparkles, like, glitter. I want my Prince Charming. I mean, she's a brilliant businesswoman, but she's also super femme. I mean,
Every
you
song
know,
writes almost like exclusively is about that.
yes. And so I think there's something really beautiful about that. And I know tons of articles have been written about it, but I think it's interesting in terms of astrology. Like, where what are we opening up to what we are allowing into pop culture, because I feel like the gatekeeping around pop culture has been this very kind of feminized men, androgynous women thing, and no shade on that, but there is a whole part of the population that's more traditional.
Like we yeah, and we can't do away with strong men. Like this
We need that.
we need them. Like
Yes.
I feel on a personal level like being with Tyler is like the first time that I've been with someone who like I genuinely feel like can protect me.
Do you remember when we were in Asheville and we came out of the restaurant and you were holding Asher, and both we were just like talking, and both Daniel and Tyler saw someone rob
Oh
someone
yeah.
across the street? Do you
Oh yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
And like they had such a strong, both of them knew exactly what to do, knew exactly how to handle it, and like we saw what was going on, and we were just like gabbing with the baby.
The
Yeah.
baby.
And like wouldn't trade that for the world. I think that there is something that is needs to be honored in the masculine around that.
100%. And I mean, Travis and Taylor are such a perfect match that House and Habit literally thought they were a fake setup.
That's what I'm saying. But like,
Like they're so perfect that it's almost like unbelievable.
but it actually, so even, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston were set up by their agents. Even if they were set
Yeah.
up, it it makes sense that it works. Like, look at their families, look at their value, look at what you know, she always talks about her parents are everything to her. Her mom, he does a podcast with his brother. He has his parents on all the time. They're all together. Like, it makes perfect sense. So that's another thing. Again, I love like those kind of family values, even though my life is a little a-traditional. I think it's a beautiful thing.
This girl just wrote, wait, Sarah, I was just talking about this with my friend yesterday, and we feel like coolness is dead. The allure of it is pumped through our screens to no end, and we're exhausted. We want connection and grounded values way more than anything, aesthetic. Also, the older we get, I'm 26, the more we feel balanced in our femininity when we allow ourselves to be supported by strong men and partners.
Yeah, I love that. I love this for you. Like, it was very, in my mid 40s, and the messaging was much more confusing. I had my own stuff around that. But yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing for those that feels true to have this. Now, obviously, it, you have the biggest pop star in the world and like one of the best football players. So they are top of their game. But the way that trickles down, right, I think is, you know, chivalry doesn't need to be dead.
Also, just because you're the biggest pop star and just because you're a famous football player, that's all optics. But
Yes, agreed.
when I watched a few clips of their podcast, the thing that I was most kind of like, oh, touched by is like
Mhm.
when he's like, you should see what she gets up to around the house, and it's like the day to day with your partner, with yourself, no matter if you're the most famous person in the world or the richest person in the world, it doesn't fucking matter because at the end of the day, you're just a person who has to lay their head on a pillow somewhere.
Yes, but name me another couple that feels that relatable. That's in the public eye. That is
Well,
that.
to the point of Sarah, like people are trying to be so cool that they also don't even want to reveal their relational details. They don't want to be vulnerable about those things. That's why we don't see it because everyone's trying to keep this like guard up around themselves, which maintains the allure that they want us to have that everything is like all good and perfect and cool when even if you're in the best relationship, it's fucking messy.
It is. And like my favorite clip is that I saw is like where he's like into her using big words, and she's like, he pretends like he doesn't know what this word, he pretends he doesn't know what it means, but he knows what it means. And then she brings up Hamlet and she's like, he pretends to, and he's like, no, it's Lion King. And his brother's like, wait, Lion King's based on him. Like it just, honestly, that conversation could happen in my own house. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where I feel like, so maybe that's why it felt relatable to me. But I think there's something really beautiful about it because this era of cool or unattainable, even like, Lena Dunham, which like I liked the show. I did like the show. But even like her, there's something that feels unattainable. She's so cool. She's from New York City. Her mom's this artist that's like, it's hard if you don't come from anything like that to like hook into that at all.
I also don't
And I really like the show.
like where Lena's at right now in her life. I'm like, she's operating from a place of very strong intellect, but I also see like an insane disconnect within her, specifically regarding like her relationship to her body and the way she talks about it versus like what it appears to be very
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And this isn't like me fat shaming her or anything because it's beyond that. It's something I think it has to do with when she had to get her um what is the procedure? Her uterus taken. On there's something going on with her that doesn't feel fully integrated where and fully connected. And so whereas like when you see like what's going on with and it's very curated with her. And
That's what I'm saying.
yes, it's because of the New York City thing and all that, but I also
Yeah.
think it's built this protective wall against her own identity and place in the world because she has to uphold this intellectual idea she has of things. Whereas I think
Yes.
Taylor and Travis, it's just more salt of the earth energy,
This
which
is what I'm saying.
what we want now. And also America needs
Love story.
a love story and we
Yes.
need we also and it's not only just the love story of them, it's like there's if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are the great unifying factor of America right now, even though I hate both of their politics and think he's such a twat for doing like $15 million of Pfizer commercials.
Yeah,
I
agreed. But again, this
it
is
does
great. Like, yes, exactly. And that's what I think is, you know, that is what I love. And I think there is something so incredible about heartland American values.
yeah.
I really do. I just think they're so fucking beautiful. And I think, you know, as someone who did not grow up in them, I grew up in Manhattan, right? Like to see that celebrated, I hope they have an American wedding. I hope it's like, I hope they buy this house in Cleveland, like, and raise their fucking kids in Cleveland. Like, I just think there's something so wonderful about the celebration of those kind of core, instead of, I think what I only see in Hollywood is, unless it's like Taylor Sheridan, right? It's like, fuck you, America. You know, we're jaunting off to Europe. We're jaunting off here. This is like, and on the backs of money that came mostly from Americans.
Yeah.
And so I just think, I don't know, maybe they'll prove me wrong and they'll, you know, move to Italy. But I just think there's something,
Doubtful.
yeah, do you see? And like they were at their first public outing was at a college football game last night. Like,
I mean, you
I,
also think that people like that crave normalcy. And
that's,
it's almost like
yes,
star power cancels each other out in a weird way. It's where it's like
exactly.
they can be in their little bubble together because they're both so famous that it's like, okay, whatever. We're accepting this and we're going and we're going to be in the world. And I have this friend, maybe you guys follow her. Her name's Chelsea Diane. She's Poems and Power on Instagram. She's amazing. But I know her from Malibu, and then she just moved her entire life back to Kansas where she's from. And she posted something um and she had a ranch out here, but she has her ranch in Kansas and whatever. It's a whole thing, but she posted something about being in Kansas with regards to going to her daughter's school.
Mhm.
And it was like, basically, like, I love living in a place where people are people, essentially. And she's like, when I was a mom
Yes.
going to my daughter's school in LA, I was the mom who like didn't want to be involved in anything and was very much not the like parent teacher association mom. And then she's like, but when I go to my daughter's school here and everyone's looking me in the eye and talking to me, and it's just family oriented. Like, it's not about who I am or what I'm doing. She's like, suddenly I'm ready to volunteer and do everything and like teach classes on poetry and build the fucking theater set because I feel like I have something to offer here because I'm just being met as a human.
I mean, that Daniel talks about this all the time
Yeah.
where we live, is that and I really hope it doesn't go away because this town is growing like crazy. But in my small town, like that, that is what I love. And I really value it. And I think there is some, like, if we talked about Somebody Somewhere, I love this
So
show. Yeah. It's a beautiful show. I mean, she, goes back to Kansas, and I don't know. I just would love to see more stories about this, the heartland of this country. I just think I don't know. I think it's so fucking great. And it just made me really happy. And I think, you know, I'm just, I'm, I mean, I'm too old to care about cool, but I think it's so unattainable.
it also
It's
really
so empty.
been talking about for a few weeks, which is how so many love stories now are like not um there's not an emphasis on love and there's not an emphasis on the vulnerability and the celebration of just falling in love. It's like so many stories are very just whatever, too cool, disconnected, whatever the fuck the thing that you have the allergy to. And the two of them
Yes.
are, well, she's the ultimate hopeless romantic, and that's her whole brand
They're
essentially.
like unabashedly in love.
But him as the man doing that I think that that's such a good example because part of like my
Yes.
experience dating, truly like until I met Tyler, was very much people holding back and kind of dating, but still pretending like that's not what they wanted. And so it's like this horrible game that the women have to play too, which is to also pretend that they're cool and don't want it. And to have a guy just being like, I want this and my heart is giving to you. It's like that is what we that is what we were fed growing up would be the case. And then we come to realize it's just like fuck boys and dating apps. And you're just like, what is this world? And so to kind of return to, but I do think it's the Jupiter and Cancer thing. It's family values. It's a
That's what I'm
very
saying. Yes. And
different.
also, America is Cancer,
Yeah.
July 4th. And so it's also like, so it's also that, right? It's like, and exactly what you said. It really does go beyond politics. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, and it's, it's just beautiful to see that as a paradigm. And it's very wholesome. It
Very
just
hopeful.
is, you know? And I think I don't know. I mean, I have some family friends. My oldest sister's best friend since seventh grade. He and his wife dropped their kid off at Vanderbilt uh, here, and we all went to dinner. And the daughter's a Swiftie, and the dad turned to me and he's like, "If she's gonna look it up to anyone, like, why am I not gonna be happy about
And
this?"
like so pure. Then you see like videos of like the weekend in concert, like licking the twat of the what?
So
What? Like at least she's just so pure.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like wholesome and happy and joy. What did someone say?
That yes, I feel like people hate a happy ending. My friends act like they want miserable relationships because it's cool and downplay anything positive. It's such a bummer. It's just them. It's the ultimate
Protection.
protection, exactly. And I did it too. And but it's really so
Same.
insidious because it becomes how you operate, and then it's really hard to unwind from that and to heal from that. And I think like it's if we're talking about what's cool, it's
Yeah.
so much cooler to just admit what you want and admit the depth of your hurt and just like live in that. And it's so much cooler to fail that way than it is to fail being cold and closed off.
100. Like, yes, 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 yes. And I think it's great. Like, I want, like, I love when my clients when my clients fall in love and they have babies and I'm like, send me all the photos of the baby. Like, I'm not pushing anyone towards that, but I see the relief. A lot of clients I worked with, like, through their late 20s into their, and I've witnessed the shift, and it's just a whole other layer of being. And I think that it is, literally, let's celebrate love. And I'm not talking about like agape, like, yeah, sure. But like interpersonal falling in love, like, bring back the love stories.
I mean, even some of my friends now who have been in relationships for a long time that have kind of been cool relationships, if you will, like not hyper passionate or necessarily like soul led, just like cool and chill relationships, like they're having this like reckoning of
Oh, interesting.
that my one friend in particular who is really going through it is realizing that she's let it be this way for so long and now she just turned 40 and she's like, I don't think that this is the relationship for me because we just have never been able to go deeper into that vulnerable place of it being more passionate, more messy, more
Hmm. Yeah.
growing more. Like, they've been together for 11 years. He hasn't like asked her to marry him. They don't know about
Hmm.
like just all the things that she was kind of like, it's cool. I don't want that. And then realizing within herself that that was a lie she told herself when she was 25. And then suddenly woke up at 40 and was like, wait, I've just been living in self protection. And now these eclipses are coming and I'm like, timeline jump me out of this, like,
Yes.
and that's
But
what
I
I told
think,
her. I was like, you're being ejected because it's not in alignment.
Yes, that I think everyone, I think the culture does better when we value close personal ties and love and relationship. I think there's no way that that can't bleed out. Like
Yeah.
there's in a positive way, like that can't have a ripple effect, right? So I don't know. I think I hope I mean, she has a huge impact on especially younger girls. And so if
Good
they,
Kamala elected, but maybe she'll get a few girls and nice boyfriends. She tried though. T, we saw you. You tried, girl. It's okay. You tried. Nobody, not even Taylor could get elected. Oh, that was a bad moment. That was a hard culture. It's rough. Why did you do this to us? Culture, why did you give us her? Give us a better option. That's a different
give
issue.
us a better option. Just give us a better option.
Please let us choose.
Yeah. And like,
I would have rather
again, it's like,
president. I would have voted for her.
like, and different, obviously, you're going to have outliers and you have, but yeah, I hope we see more of it. I hope we see more love stories. I hope we see more like, I mean, I love a crime drama, but like enough with like, can we see stories of people overcoming, like bring back the sports movies, bring back like the Rudies, bring back like enough with the nihilism.
I also do
We
think
want to live for something.
are a good example as well to go back to Mary's comment because I think that like even though it's different obviously because he's like just like an alligator man, which like
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that. It's also I'm just like you just found a man in a swamp. Like this is so dope. Like that's
Like an
I've been
alligator landlord? That's like no joke.
I know, but like I've been on those like airboat tours in Florida and like the guys who like run those tours are low key like so hot. And you're just like, you're so hot and like filthy covered in swamp, but like it's a weird reality. But the point is that like like I remember the kid was like 25. I'm like, I'm so uncomfortably attracted to this like swamp creature. But the point is that there's also that element of the love story, which is that it is not about status. It is not about
Yes.
what you do for work or how much money you make. And the man can
Yes.
also be the one who's not the primary breadwinner and still show strength in a different realm. And
I bet Swamp Man doesn't worry if it's cool enough. Exactly.
I just I mean, has a big dick and he knows he's cool. He does not care. Okay. The point is just that like we have this idea that like the man has to bolster strength in both like the toxic masculinity in both stature and wealth and this and then if they don't have all that then they're this other version of male and they're weak and they're whatever. And so I feel like
Yeah.
her being with him is another kind of evolution of our ideas of who can support a strong woman,
Yeah.
who can
Yes.
support a successful woman, who can
Yes.
is man enough to allow that to be true and still know what their energetic space is. And also that you can be Lana Del Rey, the most successful woman, whatever, one of the most successful women in the world. And you're not being like, who's more successful than me that I can be with that, then I can chase that and that I can feel validated.
Who just said that a lot? Oh, like Sofia Vergara was like, I will only date a man who makes more money than me.
It's
And
like,
I was
okay,
like, good luck with that.
bye. Like,
Yeah.
if that's your fucking priority, then that's just ridiculous. And it's like the thing with Lana is that you're seeing someone who had a genuine soul connection. Otherwise, she wouldn't be doing that. And that now we're
Yes.
selling that over, yeah, like status chasing and clout chasing and, matching tax brackets or whatever the fuck. All that shit keeps you so separate from heart and from life.
Yeah. That's why I think it's, like I said, it's like this stuff is a bellwether, whether are fans or not, it's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it's beautifully celebratory of just falling in love. Like, it's rare to hear someone say, "I just wanna fall in love." They're like, "I'm looking for this."
Yeah. Checklist.
Yeah, and the assumption is if you fall in love, it's toxic.
Right.
How about it not being
I mean, when
toxic?
I met Tyler, I remember I got into like the weirdest fight with one of my friends because I was like, we just have this like crazy connection. Like it was like right away. Like I looked into his eyes and I was like, what in the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is powerful. I wasn't even trying to put it in a box. I just like, I remember writing in my journal, like, I don't know what this is, but I know it's like affecting my soul. Like it just was like,
Yeah.
I was trying to say you're my person. It just was like, we clearly have a thing.
Mhm.
I was talking about it at this party with one of my friends, and I was like, we went out, we had like a friendly lunch,
Mhm.
for our first date because it was supposed to be like a collaboration thing, but then I was like, I definitely would like to
We're
sex you.
collaborating on making humans.
I'm like, we'll make you. Um, but my friend was like, well, like, what's his like spiritual practice? And was kind of putting the like spiritual practice as the status symbol. And I'm like, listen, like this isn't Topanga Canyon where everyone wears their spiritual practice like it's fucking an accessory. And I was like, his spiritual practice that he survived 19 years in prison and is an amazing human. Like, I don't know. Uh, like, and I got so angry because I was like, why the fuck is that your first question? Like, because it was clearly that as like a symbol of like status and like like soul status in a weird way.
Whi which is the most really absurd thing.
Yeah.
Like, there is no status among souls.
Right.
There's no I mean, um, I always read Carolyn May, so I keep Entering the Castle Next to My Bed, which is like a, a real soul pathway book. And in one section, she really delineates the difference between intuition and revelation, which is that intuition is a tool for navigating the physical world.
Mm.
Revelation can shock you and shock your whole world and
Mm.
turn it upside down. And it's usually not welcome because it's not like you were like, "Oh, yeah, I wanna be with someone who was 19 years in prison." Like, it's
I-
not right. So it's like that what we think is spirituality is really just an effort to make life more convenient. Real, soulful exploration honestly often rocks our world, and it's not always the ending that we think we're gonna get. Sometimes it is, but sometimes more often it's not. And that's the thing, like, too, it's like, you know, love can also shock you out of your complacency, out of your numbness, out of your,
Out of what
out of
I thought what it was gonna be
yeah,
like, or what
exactly.
the picture you have,
Exactly.
whatever the fuck. It's like, if
Yeah.
it's really real, it's probably not gonna look anything like what you thought.
Yes. And that's another thing. Like, those are the movies that I grew up on, like The Horse Whisperer, or even like, you know, uh Legends of the Fall, or Meet Joe Black, which is my favorite
Like,
movie of all time. But like I mean, she
so when I
falls in
watch
love with death.
Tyler, like, sometimes I'll feel like, I know I'm no Tristan. I'm like,
Daniel wanted to be Tristan when he was younger, so I was like, "Oh, that's how I know."
right, right, right. You're like,
It's not
basically,
Julia Ormond,
Tristan.
but like I, I think I was always drawn to the stories where people were rocked by who they fell in love with.
Yeah.
So maybe I played that out, and maybe I, elevate that or what. But I just think there's a continuing conversation about that. But I mean, I hope they fall in love. I hope they stay married and have all. And then I saw these things on like her divorce album is going to be amazing. Maybe not.
What does
Maybe
will take?
yes. Like maybe they're going to have the babies, and maybe maybe they're going to be happy forever. And me like look at both of their backgrounds. It's pretty solid. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are we jumping to that? So I know you have to go, but thank you for letting me interview you.
I mean, I feel like
I'm going to continue to.
the worst part of this, the Taylor Swift stuff, is really where we are. I can't remember. It's hard for me to remember things like off the cuff like that when it comes to childhood. Like, it's more like something will trigger a memory.
I know, but then some memories were triggered that you shared.
That's true. I got to find a picture of my people person for you.
Oh, I want to see. Wait, you mean your fifth grade boyfriend?
No, my
Daniel.
person that I
Or your people person. I want to see a photo of
that I
that.
created in my dream image with my undershave.
I want to see all the photos. And I want to see all the graphic tees.
So many fucking graphic tees. Clara, thank you so much for being here. All right, we'll be back next week.
For sure. Love you.
Love and light. Love you. Bye.
Love you.